Welcome to the Greenpill.Network podcast. If you're just joining us, we are building a coordination, a network society of thousands of hackers, dreamers, and doers focused on using crypto to bring positive-sum digital systems to the world. This podcast features the people who are doing it, and we publish a season of episodes every couple months. If you want to learn more, you can visit our website at Greenpill.Network, where you can download the Greenpill book for free, join the Discord, and become a member of your local Greenpill.Network chapter. This episode is going to be a summary of the Greenpill.Network changes that are rolling out in 2024. So we're going to be taking a break from impact season on this episode to hear from myself and my larger goal on GPN, which is short for Greenpill.Network, from Sejal, who's talking about 2024 goals for the Greenpill Network, from Izzy and Lana, who are spinning up a process through which new local Greenpill chapters can be spun up. If you're thinking about practicing regen crypto locally, then you'll be interested to hear that section of the episode. And we also get updates from Greenpill Ottawa, Greenpill Nigeria, Greenpill KPG, Greenpill Brazil, and Greenpill Kenya. So if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you may not know it, but there are dozens of active local chapters across the world that are trying to figure out how to practice these things locally. So I think this is a fun episode for learning about what's going on in the broader Greenpill network. And if you're looking for something new and positive to get involved in, then this is going to be a good episode for you. So I'm going to roll the recording from the Twitter Spaces that was recorded on January 16th. And hopefully that is informative for you to learn about the updates for the Greenpill network in 2024. Enjoy.
This is our first space of the year and potentially one of the first spaces we've run. I know we ran a handful last year when we were getting the chapters going, but this is one of our first ones, and I'm really looking forward to it. So just a little bit of what you can expect from us today. You are going to get some updates on what our plans are for 2024 as a general network. You're going to hear from a couple of chapters that are able to join us and give us some updates on what it is that they're doing. We'll hear a little bit from Sejal, who is the lead of the Greenpill Network, the community aspect. And we're really lucky we have Kevin here as well, who kind of just wanted to have Kevin speak a little bit about what some of his hopes are as well for the Greenpill Network, and even to give us a little bit of kind of info on why he created the brand of Greenpill to begin with, and maybe a little bit of alpha on what's coming in the podcast this year as well. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, always please feel free to raise your hand, or you can drop it into the comment section in our chat, and I will do my best to moderate that as well. And chapter leads, I'll call you up when we kind of get to that portion, and I'll just call you up from the chapter handle. And if you're not actually behind the chapter handle and you're behind a personal account, just wave at me or raise your hand so I can call you up as well. And then Sejal, I think for you, you just have to accept the invitation to speak to be able to come up. But while we figure that up, Kevin, thank you so much for being here today. And I would love if you're ready and willing to kind of explain to us a little bit about what is your master vision or hope for where Greenpill can be this year?
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, great. Hi everyone, how's it going?
Good. We're happy you're here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Okay, so Greenpill was a thing that I launched a self-published book in 2021 in order to share a vision of how crypto could be regenerative to the world. So basically, I was seeing a lot of culture around finance and a lot of libertarian culture in crypto, and I wanted to bootstrap more thinking around pro-social and regenerative type issues. So that was the genesis of the Greenpill book in 2021. Shortly thereafter, I was lucky enough to get Bankless, which is a prominent Web3 podcast, to offer me a podcast. And so began producing content about how crypto could regenerate the world through the Greenpill book and the Greenpill podcast. So basically, since then, we have evolved. I've met thousands of people who care about crypto and who care about pro-social causes. And together we're building what I've been playfully calling a coordination, which is a network society of thousands of hackers, dreamers, and doers that are manifesting this world of crypto regenerating the world. So basically, like at a high level, when I published the Greenpill book, I would tell people, hey, this book is entitled How Crypto Could Regenerate the World. The V2 that I want to publish is How Crypto is Regenerating the World. And then the V3 I want to publish in like 10 years is like How Crypto Did Regenerate the World. So I don't think that it's happening yet, but I think that by one part of manifesting it is sort of like dreaming about it, writing about the game theoretic and computer science foundations through which it could happen. And then we start to practice it and we bring talent and capital into this vision. So that's kind of like from inception, the quote unquote master plan. I don't know. It's kind of just a shot I'm taking. And I think that the Greenpill Network has evolved from just the book and then the podcast. And now we have all these active local chapters. It's really humbling and beautiful to me to go to somewhere like Istanbul and to meet 35 people that believe in the vision, that are from a completely different life circumstance, completely different part of the world from me, but still believe that we can use these networks for pro-social causes. And I think that's the really special thing for me, is meeting every one of you that shares this vision and learning about the unique ways that you're practicing it in your own life. And I think that a lot of what the investments we're going to make in 2024 are about showcasing that work. So Gitcoin rounds for the Greenpill Network we will continue doing. We will continue doing podcasts. I'm now doing thematic podcasts, 5 to 15 episodes on different topics. And the idea is that the podcast, by being spaced next to each other temporally, like released together, are going to compound each other. The season that we're doing right now is impact season. So learning all about Optimism retroactive PGF and how it can interoperate with Gitcoin and impact attestations, and how do we reach this meme of impact equals profit. We're doing 10 episodes on that right now. And it's been really fun to dive in a season at a time, as opposed to before I felt like I was kind of scattered between different topics. So yeah, that's like 5 minutes on kind of how I'm thinking about the Greenpill Network. Very much thank you to Sejal and to Lana for helping to organize the network. I'm busy with my return to Gitcoin, and I've not been as present as I would like to in the Discord, but I pop in here and there, and it's always great to see that Sejal and Lana and the chapter leads are keeping the wheels in motion. So if you're a leader in the Greenpill Network, pat yourself in the back. So glad you're here. So glad that we're building this movement together. I'll end there. Let me know if any questions. Back to you.
Thank you. That was a very, very great synopsis of like all the high level stuff. And yeah, like my takeaway from what you were sharing, Kevin, is the idea is we started with theory, which is the Greenpill book, as you said. V1 is how crypto can regenerate the world. We're in the V2, which is working towards trying to show and experiment with how that is the case. And then V3 in 10 years, as you said, which I think is a really great timeline, is talking about how crypto did regenerate the world. And so right now, Greenpill as a network, we're essentially in that theory to action to feedback loop, where we're experimenting with how can we take the theories and concepts of how we think crypto can regenerate on a large scale, but also obviously because our chapters are local based, how can they regenerate on a local level? And that's going to look different depending on where you are, what the chapter leads and communities skill sets are, and potentially like what communities they're in and what resources they've got there. So we're in that action stage. So if you are listening and this is the first time you're hearing about the chapters, please see if there's a local chapter in your area. If there is, join it. If there's not, please also feel free to sign up to start a chapter. We're running like onboarding chapter cohorts. So we've got our current one going on right now. And we'll be letting in our next round of new chapters starting in April, just so that chapters have like the skills and resources needed to essentially do what it is that they need to do. And so my next question for you, Kevin, because I know that we don't have you for too long, and I want to respect your time. But we'll talk a little bit about the round manager training, which is in association with what you were just sharing with what our plans with Gitcoin and running QF rounds on Gitcoin. But you also just launched a tool where essentially any community can do retro PGF in the ways in which Optimism just did, which is also something we will be experimenting with as a network. But you just launched that. So I'd love for you to even talk just a couple minutes about that in case anyone on this space hasn't already heard of that tool and is maybe interested in using that to help kind of stimulate their community.
Yeah, sure. Happy to. How many people on the call have heard of Optimism style RPGF? Just raise your hand if you have. This is also just a pulse check to see how many people are actually listening. Okay, I see some hand emojis. Okay, so part of Gitcoin's 2024 strategy. Okay, now I see the hand emojis coming in. People had to alt tab into the right app. Okay, so part of Gitcoin's 2024 strategy, actually the Gitcoin 2.0 strategy, is taking the mechanisms that were only available to Vitalik Buterin and democratizing them to everyone. So quadratic funding we used to build the Ethereum ecosystem in 2021. Now we want to allow anyone to do quadratic funding. So you see Gitcoin Grants Round 1 being run by the Ethereum Foundation and Ethereum to build the Ethereum ecosystem. Now, Gitcoin Grants Round 19, you've got 25 different DAOs that are running quadratic funding rounds. So democratization of the ability to regenerate your communities and then eventually the world. Gitcoin Grants has always been a market leader in the space in what I call democratic public goods funding. Recently, a new market leader emerged around what's called retroactive public goods funding. Basically, the idea that it's easier to figure out what was impactful in the past retroactively than it is to guess what will be impactful in the future. And so Optimism has been doing a lot of retroactive public goods funding experiments. And they just recently completed Optimism Retro PGF Round 3, which gave out, I think, $120 million to the Web3 ecosystem, really like life-changing money to some projects. And so basically, we're going to follow the same playbook of democratizing access to these tools from people who are building them to everyone. So basically, what I launched was called Easy Retro PGF.xyz. And I'm saying I launched it because I'm the face of it, but like really thank you to Carl and to Jonas and to the Optimism Foundation, everyone who helped us design these tools, because it takes a mountain of people in order to move these things forward. But we launched Easy Retro PGF.xyz, which is basically a tool that allows anyone to do retroactive public goods funding. So now the Greenpill chapters can not only run Gitcoin grants, but they can run Retro PGF in order to regenerate their communities. And that's kind of where we landed in 2024. Maybe by 2026 or 2027, we'll have a couple other menu items where you could do some other weird capital allocation mechanism in your community and do it really no matter who you are. So that's kind of the trajectory that Gitcoin's on and how it interplays with supporting the Greenpill network. TLDR, if you didn't get any of that, we will be doing Gitcoin grants rounds and easy retro PGF rounds in 2024.
Thank you. And thank you you're just constantly shipping tools that all of us can use, which we're really, really appreciative of. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Hate to interrupt. Sorry, I was just going to say, it may look like I'm shipping them, but it's actually the entire Gitcoin DAO, 50 people, software engineers, product designers. And I just want to give a shout out to them because they're the ones who are shipping. I'm just kind of like the meme lord that's promoting it at this point. So kudos to them.
Well, thank you to the meme lord. And then thank you as well to everyone who's supporting and helping build out these tools. And then thank you to everyone too, who's going to then take these tools and actually use those to help regenerate their communities. It's that constant like ripple effect that we want to see where we start using the tools, show people how effective they are, greenpill them, crypto pill, greenpill them. And then it helps us kind of continuously grow our community and grow our space. And so, Sejal, I would love to have you, if you wanted to give us a little bit of the like TLDR on what are some of your plans and visions for Greenpill this year.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Hi, everyone. I am so happy to be here. And, thank you so much, Lana, for organizing this space. I think it's so important to, talk to the community directly more and more often so that we can share, all the action that happens behind the scenes. So I'm so happy to be here. Last year, like Evan mentioned, I think it has been the big journey, the journey of this movement began, right? I mean, it began when the book came out, but really, one of the reasons I was super passionate about this initiative was because I feel like it is so important to break down all the complex things that happen in this space to, in a way which is easily understood, which can be utilized, right? Which can be used to solve challenges, right? And to do that, it is so important that people come together, at a local level, right? Because not everyone can travel to a conference, not everyone can go to, across the world and really attend those events, right? So how about we do it where we stay, right? And actually introduce people who are new to this beautiful space, which has so much to offer, right? I think that is what Greenpill is all about. And this year, like Lana and like we have so many discussions around how we can do, but I think if I have to just like put it in one sentence, it has to be, we want to be more and more grounded in action, right? So Greenpill Network is all about action, and that is essentially what we want to do, and this will happen in like different ways, right? So for example, like we have experimented with running rounds at Greenpill level, right? So for the network, right, where we have sort of enabled chapters to raise funding so that they can do meetups, they can organize events at local levels, right? And now there are few chapters who are at a stage where they have some core contributors within their chapters, right? So now this network is essentially, a community of communities, right? And how is that these chapters can actually, basically incentivize people who are working in the local region, or just like go to a next level. So I think that is one of the areas which I'm quite interested and excited about, to see how that will shape up. And of course the other part of it is that there are new chapters. For example, the cohort that we are running is also a sort of an experiment, which is like an onboarding cohort. What would that look like, right? Because initially when we started, everything was so new that there were people who came together, and I'm so happy that people who actually came together are incredible. Like for example, the first cohort where Ottawa, like Lana, Izzy, and Paul is here. I can see Paul here. So incredible people. But how essentially we can formalize the process of chapters getting onboarded, right? So that they can actually just get straight to the to the action and not just get stuck. So I think that is also a really good progress we have made, and I'm also looking forward to how this cohort sort of enables chapters to just like go and hit the ground running. So yeah, and we are also, by the way, just some alpha, we are also working on putting up a forum for Greenpill Network, so that we can share the progress of chapters. We can share everything that is happening in a more, more publicly, because right now pretty much everything for Greenpill Network happens in Discord, and sometimes it gets lost and it remains within the chapters, right? So we definitely want to start doing that. And I don't know if I'm supposed to share this, Lana, but I think it is so important. Like more and more people as they join, who is eligible for funding, who is going to participate. We are also working on a set of guidelines for that, because as much as we love each and every chapter, we really want how everything can be grounded in action, right? And what are the ways to really measure the action, or what are the ways to really track how we are progressing towards our goals, right? So a lot of those things are coming this year. That is what I'm really excited about. And the third is, I also, like one of the things we have already done, which is the round training program, right? So we see like I see Gitcoin as, some Gitcoin is responsible for, or they build the tech, and basically I see Greenpill Network as the local arm of Gitcoin, right? Where we can actually use those tools and mechanisms at local levels. And I just want to see how that can be done more, and not just at local level. I see like Greenpill Network as a network of communities or people who can actually, take those tools and mechanisms to also enable other ecosystems even within the space, right? To sort of realize the power of it, right? So we will do more and more training programs. We have the cohort, the recorded sessions coming up soon, and we will have more cohorts to teach people run different mechanisms. And so I think that is the educational part of this, Greenpill Network, which I am also super excited about. And yeah, I think there are a lot of things that are coming, this year. And again, the focus is that we do more, but we also do it fast, right? So definitely forgive us for anything that is that comes out that is not perfect, because the idea is to really put it out and also sort of improve as we go along, right? So yeah, I think broadly those are the things. And I really hope that this year we get a chance to meet more in person, because I have not really met a lot of people who are stewards, like a few of them, but not really a lot. So especially like everyone on this call, like Lana, Izzy, Paul. So really excited to meet people in person. And yeah, I will just take a pause. I don't know, Lana, if that was what we was expecting. But yeah, I'm really excited for everything.
I love it. No, that was perfect. I love when you get excited and share a lot of information. And that's what today's space is about too. It's to help potentially like chapter stewards or already members of the Greenpill community who want to get an update on what we're focusing on this year, as well as to just introduce people who maybe are curious what the Greenpill Network is about. And even just to kind of like really quickly summarize what Sejal was sharing there is our idea with being focused on action is we want to show, not tell. And part of being able to show, not tell, that's like what we're doing on the chapter level. But then also, as she was sharing, on a higher level training, even the training programs that we're running, they're meant to be like tangible skills that you then can go act on. So the round manager training, as an example, I believe we had 48 people in the training, and probably like 95%, I think it was like 95% of like a full completion rate of the training. It was people were very engaged. There were homework assignments. People were running test rounds. They were trying to raise funds. And so it was a really hands-on sprint-like training program. And then we're working on stuff where right now we have a couple of larger rounds coming up that Greenpill is running for the Greenpill community. And we're going to bring people from the round manager training cohort on as round managers to help give them more skills. We also took everything we learned, thanks to all of our guest trainers. We had so many incredible trainers coming over from the Gitcoin team, giving us all of their knowledge that we were actually able, the vote hasn't passed yet. But if the vote passes, it's with the Unlock community, the Unlock DAO. We're taking essentially all the skills learned in the round manager training and used it to approach a DAO about running a QF round for their builders community. Used like some of the proposal blueprints that Kevin shared, having gotten feedback from like Ben and Carlos and Azim. And John, we were able to like form a proposal. It's in for a soft vote now on Snapshot. And so that's also just an example of that passes. Not only is it like proof that the training equals being able to then go out and do what it is that we want to do, focus on impact, but we'll bring it back into the community again by looking at bringing on round managers from the training to give them more experience. And so again, it's that feedback loop that we were talking about earlier, but moving from theory to action to feedback. And as Sejal was sharing, please also give us feedback if you have ideas or if we did something and you think that there's ways in which we could improve it, because we're definitely following the Gitcoin Kevin Owocki philosophy of really like less insane amounts of prep planning and more, okay, this is our working framework. Let's go. And as we go, we're going to get feedback and then we're going to implement the feedback. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, on to the next experiment. And so that's part of our kind of plan and philosophy of how we're going to focus more on action than on theory as well. I don't know if you want to add anything there, Sejal.
No, I love it. That is exactly what I wanted to also share. Like, if maybe people don't know yet, but one of the trainees, that is Lana, she went ahead and proposed doing a QF round to unlock DAO, right? And they actually got convinced, and now this proposal is out for voting. So I can just imagine what these training programs can do, right? They're so powerful. And, I think if we do it, if we keep doing it and just make sure like people get more experience in running the rounds, that will just give them more confidence and, they can do more and more rounds, right? That will ultimately lead to the distribution of grant stack. And most importantly, like I also said, we can then eventually start doing it at local levels as well, right? We will have so many trainers who are, trained, and they can even then go ahead and train. But yeah, I am really, really happy to see that. And hopefully and eventually we will sort of have templates which people can use to, make proposals and, propose it to the DAOs, right? And we also did a session in the end of the training, which we will publish soon, which talks about how to approach DAOs and communities, right? Like it doesn't have to be just like putting up a proposal, right? So what are the best practices, how to build relationships and all those things, right? We have a special session with Azim that we recorded. Thanks to Lana, we recorded that session, and which essentially has so many golden nuggets about cracking really good deals. So yeah, and that being said, I just also would love for you, Lana, to also talk about the onboarding cohort that you are conducting with Izzy, right? And Izzy is also here in the audience. He goes by Decentralized CEO. Just want to give a special shout out to Izzy. He has been like doing a lot, and thanks to you, Izzy. Yeah, Lana and Izzy would love to know if you could give a little bit about what is that about, like what is the onboarding cohort for chapters.
Yes. And just before we dive into the onboarding, I wanted to, because I can't remember if we mentioned it, but the round manager training. So again, it's round manager. So you learn how to be a round manager using GrandStack. It's open to anyone. So it's not like you have to be like a chapter steward to be able to have access to it. So just so everyone knows, the goal there is to help everyone be able to support and fund their ecosystems. So you don't have to be a chapter steward to access those trainings. Couldn't remember if we had mentioned that. And then Izzy, do you want to request to speak? Because I'll pull you up too to talk a little bit about the onboarding that we're running. But in the meantime, we essentially are, one of the things we realized in our focus on trying to be less theory, more action, having that feedback loop, and ensuring that people also have the right skills and resources and feel both connected to the network, but are also able to go out and run workshops and create collaborations and potentially create specific projects in their local communities. We realized we needed a bit more structure. So we decided to create an onboarding cohort. And essentially it's like a 3-month like mini mastermind training. And so we meet every 2 weeks. Every session has a specific theme. And the goal of that is to really equip people with the skills to run their chapter, feel supported by the network. But one of the things we're also looking at, based on some other DAOs that had some publicity last year, is also how can we have some quality control around Greenpill so that it's the integrity is there, but that it's still very, very, very accessible. And so that's part of what we're experimenting with. So Izzy, I'll have you, if you want to talk a little bit more about the onboarding cohort, and also just letting people know if they want to start a chapter or if they currently have a chapter, that they want extra support on, like how they can kind of get in.
Yeah, thank you, Lana, for the introduction, and thank you again for setting this up. Also, thanks you, Sejal, for even kickstarting this whole thing. You pretty much said everything that's needed to be said right there, but just to add to that, the reason we basically started that incubator period or onboarding session for like 3 months for the new chapters is basically as we were when we first started, like as time goes, we actually try to not necessarily perfect things, but make it better as we go. So we realized that in the beginning, when we first started when Greenpill first was initiated, and when I was on board, there was a lot of like not really necessarily miscommunication, but a lot of things that was like left in the open and not really answered. But as we kept moving on through time, we just started picking some good things from different case studies from different DAOs and things that we saw in the space that were working, and then trying to eliminate things that was not working. And then also through the public good space, with the networks and with the network and not the networks and the partnerships that we've curated through time, we've actually picked up some good notes of things that do work. So like we can have a stronger like foundation and a stronger core. So when new chapters are being onboarded, or even chapters that's not active and that's being reactivated, as time is going on, they can have like a set roadmap of what has been working for the other chapters that's involved, and see how they can improve on it, and see where they can get things. I'm sorry, where can get some, I'm so sorry, I'm stuttering right now. So, and to see where they can get some feedback on some things that they may need, and how the Greenpill network can actually help with just resources, not just financial, but just like experience wise, and just how to make it better. I apologize, I kind of just stuttered a little bit, but I think everybody got the idea of what I'm trying to say.
No, you're all good, Izzy. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I understood. Thank you. Yeah, and as Izzy was kind of saying, and it ties into what Sejal was sharing earlier, because we're Greenpill, like our emphasis is really on experimenting, shipping, trying things, sometimes throwing spaghetti at the wall, getting feedback, and from that feedback, then using it to create a better version of what we did the first time. And so what we're trying to do is just create a better onboarding system. And if any of the current chapters too, if there's any stewards who are like really interested in supporting us in that or coming and speaking, please share. And Izzy and I are setting it up so that there'll be like systems and resources. But then again, in the nature of like being a network community, having it set up so that other people can run it. It doesn't have to always be Izzy and I, but that there'll be like the structure and resources there for anyone that kind of wants to step up and lead. So, and that kind of is a good segue into me wanting to bring up some of our current chapters. The idea with what we're doing with the chapters, Kevin spoke to it, Sejal spoke to it, Izzy spoke to it, is it's really like our chapters are our main point of connection between the whole moving from theory to action. And our goal with being able to regenerate the world starts in people's local communities. Because, and again, regeneration is going to look different, and you'll hear that from the chapters. Different chapters focus on different things. And so our chapters are a really, really integral part of the Greenpill network and community. And so we put a lot of resources into them. And so I just wanted to pull up some of them and explain a little bit about what they're doing. So if you're a chapter steward and or a chapter core team member, please feel free to either request to speak or raise your hand so I know what account you're behind, because I'm not sure if you're behind like the chapter account or your personal account. But I'd love to have you come up and share a little bit about what you focused on or like some of the stuff you did in 2023. And then just talk a little bit about what are some of your goals moving into 2024. So I think, Paul, I'm assuming that's you behind there. So you're the first chapter up if you want to go for it.
Yeah, it's Paul behind. Can you hear me? Everything's all right?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, hello everyone, and nice to see you here, and Sejal, Lana, Izzy, and Jerry, Lumen Vision, a lot of here, Jimmy here. So, yeah, glad to be here, builders and founders, regens. That's first that I want to say. And what about our activity and plans for 2024? We keep going with our Regen Full Moon Fest that we do with the Phangan here, and we do our onboarding activity as well. We plan some implementations and future events. But what we're more passionate right now, we started Phangan QF, and we started preparation for first Phangan QF, and we see it as an important infrastructure that allowed to empower local impact creators, that allow to foster coordination, that allow to onboard local impact creators like communities and real NGOs to use and utilize Web3 and blockchain technologies. So we're excited about this. And we already started pre-route on Gitcoin. It's already a month and 1 month ahead. So when we have more than 200 contributions already, and it's more than $800 right now. So that's huge. I haven't expected way less amount. And, for me, it's like 200 people contributed. And yeah, that's like proven that this way, and we pursue this way, is like the channel for contributions and individuals, global donors, like from X, from Gitcoin community, from Regen community. And yeah, that's actually, we have almost every day some donations, contributions for Phangan QF. And that's first step to work on matching pool. So, because money and assets and capital not coming just without any efforts. And a part of this pre-round on Gitcoin that we have, we also plan to work, and I already started to work. We have some local degens here who in crypto, and they kind of feel good right now. So, and they had before some ideas on island to bring some impact, and we will bring them this tool, this infrastructure, how to support, how to do impact. But from from their side is contributions and donations, right? They can distribute some capital in the Phangan QF, and we aim to do it quarterly. That will be huge if we can do this. So yeah, that's the important part. Global donors, contributors, local donors, contributors, and also some mechanics like 10% from NFTs go to Phangan QF, 10% from different grants, and we already have Lunka and Ecosynthesis as sponsors. For Phangan QF, we're also inviting other projects to be a sponsor for that. And so we also will support from Refi Phangan and Greenpill Phangan side. I mean, financially matching pool. I hope we're going to get at least 5K to start this first round. So we see it as important infrastructure, as I say, and I promote it through our Refi notes as well. And also, I'm really advocating everyone to start it, like Greenpill chapters as well. If you're not started yet, that thinking about that, that's important because you can actually make financing for your project as well, and you can make financing for impact creators in your local area. Yes, it's not huge, it's not, but some part. And as we talked before, we just create some different parts, some different channels, not zero-sum game, not Degen approach, but Regen approach. A little bit here, a little bit there, but every impact creators get it. And by this kind of a more sustainable, yeah, that's what we're doing here. And with that, we need to onboard these NGOs. They're real NGOs. They officially registered. They're working already a long time on this island. They have no idea about blockchain, Web3, and all that was going on. That will be super hard, actually, but interesting, and a lot of experience as well. Yeah, I think I mentioned the most important, our intention and mission and action that Sejal talked about. Action, and Lana also, that's our important action to try that first Phangan QF, try this different mechanics for matching pool, for marketing, then try to make it quarterly here on Phangan for local impact creators, no matter retroactive or proactive individuals or real registered NGOs. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So thank you so much. Already talked a lot. Back to you, Lana. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Paul, for sharing all that. And yeah, I like that the idea is what your chapter is focusing on is supporting like regenerative infrastructure in your local community by leveraging blockchain tools such as GrantStack and crypto philosophies around like raising funds. So if you could actually drop, if you haven't already, please feel free to drop the link to the QF round that you're running. And so if anyone missed that, they're essentially running around right now to raise funds for both like the actual QF run that they'll run locally. And then they're also raising funds for the marketing purposes, because as Paul was sharing, not everyone understands what blockchain is. And there's a huge like time commitment involved in onboarding non-crypto native local organizations. A lot of chapters help and focus on that. I know that Greenpill, like Taiwan, has run a ton of local rounds as well. They've run a handful of local rounds with, again, non-crypto native organizations, but they're leveraging QF to help raise funds for them. So that's a really great way to focus on regeneration, help localize crypto and the infrastructure that we have here, while also promoting, you know, whatever theme or organization or like space that you're kind of wanting to focus on, like what Paul's doing with Refi. Yeah, your hand's raised.
Yeah, Lana just want to add small detail that first of all, I pinned to Jumbotron the link to Phangan QF, and everyone can go and check. And if you're willing to support, you're welcome. And then we have something for contributors as well. Yeah, but that's important thing that I want to add, that I had a bit experience before initiate Phangan QF. I had experience with DSpace QF that we ran before. And I'm as this founder steward of Space QF. That was pretty important experience for me as well. Just want to mention that detail. And for sure, thank you for round operator round and cohort, because it's like really kind of solidify and crystallize, and yeah. So, but I still need to kind of go back to some materials when I need them for sure. Thank you for that work as well. Back to you, Lana.
Oh yeah, of course. Even I went back to their training when I was putting up the proposal for Unlock to try and run it with them. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that. And yeah, just a note too, kind of with what Paul was sharing, and Izzy can speak to this. Our objective when onboarding new chapters and supporting chapter stewards, or just people who in general want to support the Greenpill community, like one of the philosophies is like, what's your path of least resistance? So it's, use whatever skills you have and whatever network and, zone of genius you've got to kind of help push things forward. You don't have to try and like replicate what another chapter is doing if you feel like it's outside of the zone of skills you have. But also, if you want to learn those skills, that's what we're here for. And so that kind of leads me over to, I'll actually have Amanda, who is behind the Greenpill Ottawa chapter, because that's an example of like following your path of least resistance. Amanda is a core contributor for Ottawa Greenpill, and she's like the founder of Rooted Labs, which is essentially, Rooted Labs is a project that was created under Greenpill. We chose the name Rooted Labs, or kind of decided to have a name outside of Greenpill, just so that one, as time goes on, it can be its own project, but two, because we're in the city of Ottawa in Canada, not everyone is crypto friendly here. So we needed a name that could allow us to do work locally without maybe kind of being blocked because we were associated with crypto. So Amanda, I would love to have you come up and talk a little bit about what Greenpill and Rooted Labs are doing.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Amanda. So Rooted Labs is a project that came out of, I met Lana, actually, she was doing a workshop for Greenpill and sort of introducing the topic of regenerative crypto. And I came in there knowing almost nothing about crypto, but I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, I want to learn more. So I got to know Lana, and we started working on this project together, Rooted Labs. We really wanted to build something that was community focused around food. So food insecurity is a really big thing that's affecting the population here in Canada. Ottawa, we can see like there's obviously a lot of issues here around homelessness, affordability. The local centers like food banks are also struggling to help all the people that are in need at this time. So we started kind of putting our heads together, and we were thinking about, okay, like how can we use space in the city and start growing food to support some of these community institutions that are helping our community, like food banks and community centers. So we wanted to start growing fresh food. We were looking at, rooftops around the city where we could maybe start a community garden or something. And we were looking at how can we get students involved and kind of make this an educational sort of project as well. And then we kind of hit some barriers with rooftops and such. So we started looking at, okay, how can we actually just utilize the space around the city to grow food? And then that's kind of how Rooted Labs was born. So Rooted Labs is actually kind of this, it's an educational space. So we decided to build sort of this modular farm across the city using shipping containers and outdoor space that we can have access to in the summer when there's no snow outside. Because in Canada it gets very cold, we chose shipping containers because we can insulate them. We can move them around depending on how space is allocated to us, and it allows us to grow food all year long. And it also allows us to kind of bring in some innovative technologies as well. So in order to access more funding as well, we decided to make this a collaboration with universities. So Rooted Labs essentially is now becoming an incubator to promote education and technological skills in the agricultural community. So our goal is to work with local institutions and actually create a space that allows youth to actually come in and learn skills that they need to have like an urban farm. And also it allows them to play with technology, have access to other individuals who are from like different backgrounds than they are. So we wanted to encourage like computer science students to get involved in agriculture and use their computer science skills, and get horticulture or agriculture students to come in and learn technological skills like computer science or networking, and how to collect data off of what they're doing. So Rooted Labs became just this test bed for trying new things. We want to try also working with deep-in projects. We're looking at how we can utilize decentralized networking, computational like power distribution, or even energy distribution. We want it to be like a network throughout like other cities, and kind of become this global network of different with different education like centers kind of in each city, but all collaborating and sharing information as well. And it's become this really cool project that a lot of people want to kind of jump on board and help us collaborate. And so that's like really been like really motivating as well, like to keep growing this project. We made it super collaborative, very inclusive, to allow other people to come in and join and collaborate with us. We didn't create like a solid plan on exactly how we're going to build this, because we wanted it to be built by all our collaborators, and kind of the end result be, a fusion of all our ideas and everything kind of coming together. And while we're building it, we're trying new things, seeing if they work, and trying to actually build something that's decentralized and can be used by anyone who wants to actually get into urban farming. So it's a network where we're all like collecting our data, and we can build AI models for monitoring urban farms. And that would be something that could be accessed by anyone as well. So as we're moving forward in innovation and technology, things like robotics are going to come into play as well. And that's where all this data really, and these infrastructures really start to enable people to implement these technologies as well, because they're going to face less barriers when it comes to their computing power or their network connectivity, or just even access to the data and the models that they would need to actually get something to work properly in a system like this. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where Rooted Labs is going to go. It's so far been a huge success. We're actually just received some funding to start building the actual like physical infrastructure this winter. And we're already getting offers to, start collaborating in other places around the world and Canada as well. So it's becoming a very popular, at least like idea. And now we're just trying to kind of work through everything, gonna get through some of the barriers we're facing to actually like get this off the ground and going. But yeah, it's been a really cool project. Lana, I don't know if you want to add more to that, or about anything that's also that's been going on in the Greenpill network. But yeah, that's my little overview. So over to you, Lana.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Amanda. One of the fun things I enjoy about working with Amanda is the idea that she just came to a workshop and was like, I'm interested in this concept, and then reached out to me after one of the workshops and was like, tell me more about like quadratic funding and how can we like get a project going in the city. And so some of the stuff Greenpill Ottawa has also done. We've made about, I think, $550 or $600 worth of food donations in our city as well. So we've taken some of the funding we've raised, and until we actually have the shipping container growing food, we've been buying food and donating it. We also host like some educational workshops. We have a staking workshop coming up as well. And the larger goal and the reason why we kind of wanted to have it like be Greenpill and Rooted Labs is, as Amanda was saying, the Rooted Labs name allows us to access funding opportunities in our city and collaborate, because Ottawa is a tech hub. And then our goal is to essentially, as we grow, help fund other like stuff. So it could be collaborating with other Greenpill communities. We had someone from the Yukon in the Greenpill Discord asking us about what we're doing and is interested in seeing if he can kind of like get one going in the Yukon. We also have some people in Costa Rica who are interested. And so it's a really cool way of kind of trying to showcase the feedback loop of theory, action, feedback, and trying to focus on action and getting things going and what makes sense. And Amanda has a lot of the technical skills needed to get this project going. And then I have some of the blockchain experience, which will help as well. So I'm excited about that project, but I'm biased. So next up, I would love to have Izzy, if you want to share a little bit about, or if someone else is behind the Greenpill Nigeria thing, but you're up as the speaker. So if you want to tell us a little bit about what Greenpill Nigeria has been doing, the Impact Summit, some of the ideas you've got for this year.
Yeah, thank you, Lana. Just to put it out there, like it's a lot of individuals that actually help out with Greenpill Nigeria, so it's just not really me. Like I just kind of like put out the face, and I'm almost like everywhere in the spaces. So everybody here, Izzy, and think Greenpill Nigeria. But we have a lot of help coming from different projects that's in Nigeria, like Switch Electric, individuals like Amio, Blockchain, UNN, like those different projects actually help with some of the stuff that we're doing. But specifically with like some initiatives that we've done in the past, like from 2023, we've done a lot of like environmental cleanups, and also have excuse me, environmental cleanups, and also we've done a lot of educational initiatives where we've onboarded some individuals into the Web3 space and got them to open up wallets and just do like a general educational courses of what actually Web3 is and how to interact with wallets. And the main thing that we focus on, kind of like what Sejal and Lana and was saying, basically that Greenpill is a local arm of Gitcoin. So we tend to focus in on the parts of Nigeria where it's kind of normally overlooked. So like we're not really going too deep in like the main cities like Lagos and Abuja. We're looking at like rural areas where you don't really hear too much about, but then we still see that from the surveys that we take from the individuals that's on the ground, that we see that like these Web3 technologies and tools that Gitcoin has shipped out to us, that we can utilize them and find out what is really important in those regions. So that's why within Nigeria, there's like Akwa Ibom State, Anambra, or Port Harcourt, those different areas, we've done different initiatives in those different places, because in those different places, they need different things. Like we initially first started asking people like what they think is needed in that area. From the feedback that we've gotten, sometimes we've gotten feedback from like maybe like just 20 people, and sometimes it may be like 50 or 60 people. But the feedback we've gotten from those individuals is it shapes the initiatives that we do in those regions. So for Anambra side, we did something where it's like an environmental cleanup, because in that area, in that neighborhood, in that community, there was a lot of like trash that's around there, and those people and those people in that community were really like, they wanted to see how they can clean that place up and have like a better environment where they are. That's why we did it in that area. And then we did some educational onboarding courses in Owerri, where we showed some locals how to actually open up wallets, and to backtrack even some of those initiatives where it's like environmental cleanups, we rewarded them with like crypto funds, like with OP, and got them to open up 1-inch wallets. And that was another way to kind of onboard them while they were doing things that they really thought that was valuable or impactful in that region. And yeah, and then in Port Harcourt side, we did some food giveaways, and during that time period was like it was a hyperinflation in that region, where normally like the food prices was it was stable, but then around that time period during the hyperinflation, the food prices jumped up, but the local income, the average income in that area stayed the same. It would have been like about 50,000 naira a month on average where people earn, but then the bags of rice would be about 20,000 naira or like 15,000 naira. So because of that inflation and the income didn't change, a lot of individuals in that area was having a hard time to actually feed their family. And even though we didn't do it on a humongous scale, it's going back to what Lana said before, is like just doing the best that you can with the resources you have. We just basically allocated a little bit of funds and shared it in a way and that we were able to feed about like almost 100 people. And that right there made a little bit of difference. And that's kind of some of the things that we wanted to kind of keep pushing towards, going towards 2024, finding ways to make sure that what we're doing is not only just impactful or valuable, but and this with the tools that we have now also measurable. So yeah, that's like a little bit of some of the things that we've been doing in 2023, and then looking to do a lot more with this year coming up. But then on last month in December, we did something with Impact Summit where we partnered up with a lot of different projects and organizations in the area, and did an IRL and a virtual event. Shout out to Jimmy with the tree gen DAO. Let's grow. We we the whole point of that Impact Summit was to be able to highlight some things, some projects, individuals, and organizations that actually have been making a difference in the region, and showcase them. So to let individuals know that they are being noticed, because in this space sometimes individuals want to do more, but the resource to do what is needed is not there. Or sometimes they may lose, not, I don't want to say hope, but they may lose motivation because they may feel like what they're doing is not really being valued, or is not really showing much impact. So the last month of the Impact Summit was the first annual, in which we'll be doing like every year at the end of the year. And that's a way to kind of motivate individuals to continue to do what they're doing. And once some funding comes in with the different QF rounds that we have going on in Greenpill.Network, and even Gitcoin, and just in the public good space, we'll redirect some of those funding towards some of those individuals that actually have been showing some impact in their region, in their community through the year. So that way they can be able to get some kind of funding to continue to do what they're doing, moving on to the next year. And that's like a local aspect of the macro vision of what OP, even Arbitrum or Gitcoin, or just the whole public goods space has been doing. Is we kind of took that and tailored it to a local level, so that way people are rewarded retroactively for the work that they have been putting in, that they've been putting in like all through the year. So yeah, that's just a quick summary of what we have going on right now. But there's a lot more, but I don't want to time wise, I don't want to just take up too much space. Thank you.
Thank you, Izzy. Yeah, and then I don't know if you mentioned it, but yeah, like they hosted a huge summit and a bunch of other stuff as well. And so for anyone listening, you can obviously hear, even from listening to the different like core team members and or stewards talk about what their chapters are up to, the underlying theme is regeneration and using resources and skills and knowledge and funding that we receive from like the larger network, and finding ways to bring that to our local network or our local communities. But the ways in which we're doing that look different. And that's one of the really cool things with Greenpill is we're not trying to tell you how to regenerate your local community. We just want to support you in helping you regenerate your local community. And so next up, I would love to have AgroForest, which I think you're like Greenpill Brazil.
Hello, hey Lana, Sejal, Izzy, and everybody. It's Diogo here, yeah, from the Brazilian chapter, and yeah, there's also Kawe or Koi, as some of you know from Discord, and Felipe also, and a few others that are part of the chapter. And this second semester was pretty interesting for us. It was a moment that we got together and decided to take this challenge of being a chapter. We had a chance to take this round manager training, both Felipe and I, and we've been through our first Gitcoin round as a chapter, and we're able to raise $600, which was like very successful for us. Was enough to pay the costs for make a review of the Portuguese version of the book Greenpill, and we are now aiming to fund the printing of some copies so that we can distribute in this year's conferences, Web3 conferences in Brazil, because we feel that this is lacking, and few people know about these methodologies for fund allocation, and something, and the use of crypto for regeneration. So this is something we want to do: be able to distribute copies and be in the conferences, spreading the word of collaboration and coordination. We also, this is something that I always talk with them, is that as AgroForestDAO in our community, we want to start this year, we want to start distributing, allocating funds for projects, for people stewarding food forests. And it's something that will probably be done together between different organizations, such as us, AgroForestDAO, but also Greenpill Brazil, and we can create a match pool, and all the organizations can chip in and help raise this pool, and we can we've been thinking of doing this in the second semester and doing a lot of onboarding for these projects, so that they have a wallet, they learn how to participate in these rounds. So this is a bit of what we are planning, what we've done, and what we're planning for this year. Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome. I just realized too, we've actually had, so we had like all the regions. We had like Asia, Africa, North America, South America. That just was like a fun, I just realized of all the chapters that I've spoken so far, that was fun. And again, that kind of is part of the idea with Greenpill.Network, is different areas, different focuses, different goals. And I know with Brazil, Koi was talking about also even just having more cross-pollination between chapters, because one of the things we realized recently on a steward call is that Brazil, Ottawa, and LA are all focusing on like agriculture style stuff in a way. Because LA and Ottawa as well, we've teamed up with the Sylvie Project to do like some urban reforestation, but they've got some huge agriculture buffs in their community. Ottawa's got some in our community. Brazil's got some in their community. And so one of the things we're also really working on this year, and also with what Sejal was sharing, is like creating this like public forum that people can access and comment on. You don't have to be a part of a chapter to do it, but it's to just also find more ways to share resources, ideas, connections between all of the various communities who might have overlapping kind of goals or focuses, which is really cool.
100% agriculture coordination for the win.
Exactly. We need some agriculture coordination globally. So that's one of the, I know, exciting things a lot of chapters have got going on. And so I think last up we've got is just Greenpill Kenya. If you want to take the stage and update us a little bit on what you've been doing and some goals you've got for the upcoming year.
Hey, GM, am I loud and clear? I'm sorry, guys. I'm outdoors. I'm not sure whether I'm loud and clear.
You are loud and clear. Take it away, sir.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Lana, for organizing this. Thanks. Oh, nice. Thanks, Lana, for organizing this. I think it's amazing. Definitely kickstarting 2024, which will be, in my own prospects, I think an amazing year. It's wonderful to be part of like the lead for the Greenpill Kenya chapter. I'll start by giving a little update what we've done from, I think, when I was onboarded, I think last year, late August. I think the first thing was like to come up with like a core plan, what you want to achieve in the next maybe 3-4 quarters, and I think that plan is already laid out. I think the first thing is like we needed to do like onboarding sessions which are IRL, and our major challenge was like having that venue, because I think space and having that space where you can meet up for maybe 3-4 hours in Kenya, I think it's very, very expensive. So I had like a place, and I decided to turn it into like a region place where folks in Web3 can come and interact, where folks who can have like meetups. So that was like my main core agenda, and I think I'm almost there. We are almost there, finishing up. I think we'll have like our first ARL meeting at the same place, which is a farmhouse which has like a big space where devs can come and interact, have like sessions, have like co-working sessions. And on top of that, we have like a region farmhouse, which will be like an amazing, because all the food and everything they consume will be coming from that farm. So probably we'll have like our first meetup, Feb the 3rd. Then on top of that, like last year, we had like, we onboarded like 3 groups. We decided to start like small, like a small community, which is in Nairobi, Westlands constituency. We decided to have like a small community with like-minded people. If the structure works, definitely can come and definitely try the same thing in different other communities. So the first thing I think for this quarter is like we onboarded like these 3 groups, which are based in Kangemi, where they have like a big river and something of the sort. So we organized like a cleanup for 16 folks. We are also organizing another cleanup, whatever they want to go and do. Then we onboard them to a Web3 space. We teach them how to open wallets, and definitely onboarding them into Web3 space. So we have like 3 groups. One group has like 16 people. That was like our first group. And definitely we incentivized them with like $4.5 each person for the work they did. And we taught them how to open the wallet, and definitely how to off-ramp into Kenya shillings or into whatever local currencies we have. So we are planning to have another one probably end of the month with the second group, and we see how it goes. So the other thing is like what we are planning for Feb the 3rd, it will be like 2 events in one. So the first event will be like we are planning to go to like a children's home. It's like an orphanage. One group has like 100 children, and the other one has like 60 children. So we want to prepare them like a nice barbecue and maybe something just to appreciate them. On top of that, them whatever, if it's food, if it's they need, and if it's like whatever we can be able to. Looking for partners at the moment. We are talking to Safari DAO and other partners. As I am the core member of it, Safari, we see what we can do, definitely. And then the second part of the event, in the same day, all the people who will come, we want to have like a meetup, an ARL meetup at the same place I'm talking about. It's called, I'm not sure what the name we'll use, but I'll always go with Motek, but we'll see what to do. So we'll have like a barbecue meetup, and on top of that, we have like a onboarding session. The guys who are not familiar with Web3, we show them what is Web3, how to open wallets, how to definitely be in this ecosystem, Optimism, Arbitrum, how to support Bitcoin, how they can be able to donate, how they can be able to receive grants. And definitely it's all about education, onboarding, community building, and yeah, there's so much stuff in the works. Let's see how it goes. I think let me carry it there. Yeah, but Greenpill Kenya, LFG.
Yes. I'm going to say friggin' because I'm the host, go. But you all know what I actually mean. Thank you so much for that update. And well, you kind of highlighted it. I know Nigeria was focusing on it. Ottawa did it as well for one of the workshops. And it's something that Kevin's also talked about on the podcast, which is how can we have people's first interaction with crypto be being rewarded for doing something good or doing something. And so that first interaction that they have with crypto is like actually a reward. Because it's like it creates like this positive feedback loop of people then wanting to learn more about it. They want to get more curious about the space. It's one of the things that happened with Amanda. I used some of the funding that we had gotten, and anyone who opened up a new wallet and came to the workshop and learned how to use it was rewarded with ETH on Optimism so that they could actually go out and explore. And so that's one of the things too we really encourage people to do is just, trying to empower people to not just participate in Greenpill and be a part of their local community, but also just to inspire them to want to learn more about crypto, because ultimately we really do believe that crypto is a tool that can be used to create a lot of opportunities for people, especially more so depending on where you live. And so there just needs to be education, having someone show you how to do it, and then getting that first little bit of crypto for learning something is a positive little green pill that we like to provide to people. So Kenya's doing an awesome job. You can check out their Twitter as well. You can actually see some of their photos recently. If you look at Nigeria's, you can also kind of see some photos of just like what that feedback loop of impact, onboarding, and then proof of that impact and onboarding. And it creates like this positive win-win for both the participants, for the communities, and then also for us as Greenpill, because we're doing what it is that we want to do. So I think just checking quickly, but everyone who is up here has already spoken. So thank you so much Izzy, you want to say something before I wrap it up?
Yeah, real quick. I kind of wanted to just, for everybody here, I think the consensus of 2024 would be impact. So just start using up hashtag impact 2024, and then measurable impact too. I think that's what a big thing in 2024 is about. How can I or my project or my group provide value or impact to the environment or to the community? And just like we were talking about before, each group and community, they're different in different ways, but the similarity is that we want to improve our community. So how can we provide that within our own community? So, yeah. And I do really, 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 from the bottom of my heart, want to give a special shout out to Mama Lana that's behind that Greenpill.Network, Greenpill.Network account there. You did an awesome job today. And she does a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes. And sometimes I don't even see until later on. And it's amazing. And the leadership of Owocki and Sejal, they know what they're doing, and we're trying our best to make sure this thing has a strong foundation, and we continue to improve communities all over the world. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you again, Lana, for doing this. This is amazing, and I'm very, very, very optimistic about 2024. Hashtag impact 2024. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you, Izzy. That's very kind. And also shout out to you, Izzy. If you guys are in the Greenpill community, you know how much work Izzy does. So we really appreciate you. And thank you to all the chapter stewards. I know that running a chapter, there's a lot of steps to it. So we really, really appreciate all the work that you're putting in. And thank you so much for joining us today and giving us updates, and for all the work you're doing on the ground. It really supports our broader mission. Thank you to everyone who listened. And yeah, Greenpill, our goal this year is impact. We are going to be doing a better job of capturing that impact and making sure it's verifiable as well, and ensuring that people can clearly see the work that our chapters are doing, what the network is doing, what our community members are doing. We didn't even talk about our guilds today. But we're already over time, so we'll do another session. But we have a dev guild, we have a writers guild. So there's lots of ways to contribute and get involved with the Greenpill community. Chapters are just like the core and the heart of what we're doing as a network, because they are our direct access to local on the ground impact. So again, if you're interested in becoming a steward, hop into the Greenpill Discord, let us know. If you just want to join our Discord, become a member. We have a lot of really cool things coming out and more ways to engage and be a part of the community. Our round manager training, the videos will be out shortly, hopefully in the next week or less. We'll also be running another cohort round. I'm sure we're going to be running our retro QF training program as well. So please keep your eyes and ears peeled for those things as well, if you want to be able to have the skills to help fund your communities, whether that be locally or network communities and DAOs that you're a part of here in the space or your own project. But keep being awesome, everyone. Greenpill as many people as you possibly can. And until next time, we love you. Keep regenerating the world. You're doing way better than you're giving yourself credit for. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Greenpill.Network podcast. Again, we are building a network society of thousands of hackers, dreamers, and doers using crypto to bring positive digital systems to the world. I think all of the people that we just heard from the Greenpill Network are great examples of that. Please remember to subscribe, like, rate, and review this episode as you are closing down your podcast player. And thanks so much for listening. See you next time.